Welcome to our channel. Today we embark on a journey to some of the most breathtaking corners of our planet. However, our exploration takes a somber turn as we uncover the darker side of this popularity, the impact of over-tourism. Join me as we delve into the stories of 10 destinations grappling with the consequences of their own allure. Number 1. Bali, Indonesia. Bali, Indonesia, is one of the most popular travel destinations in the world, known for its stunning beaches, lush rice terraces, vibrant culture, and spiritual ambiance. However, the island has been severely impacted by over-tourism over the past decade, which has led to a host of environmental, social, and cultural problems. How over-tourism has affected Bali. Environmental degradation. The rapid influx of tourists has led to increased pollution, deforestation, and habitat loss. Bali's beaches, once pristine, now face issues with plastic pollution and waste from the tourism industry. Coastal ecosystems, including coral reefs, are deteriorating due to boat traffic and irresponsible diving practices. Water shortages. Bali suffers from a chronic water crisis, largely due to the high demand from resorts, hotels, and the agricultural sector catering to tourists. The consumption levels are unsustainable for the island, causing shortages that affect both locals and the environment. Overdevelopment. In recent years, the unchecked construction of hotels, resorts, and villas to accommodate tourists has consumed large portions of the island's natural landscapes, often encroaching on traditional agricultural areas. In 2024, Balinese officials imposed a ban on new developments to curb the rapid urbanization that was affecting the island's ecosystem and cultural integrity. Cultural erosion. The island's unique cultural and spiritual identity is also under threat. Temples and sacred sites are often crowded with tourists, some of whom engage in disrespectful behavior, diminishing the sanctity of these places. Furthermore, local traditions and ceremonies have been commercialized to cater to visitors, diluting their authenticity. Traffic and congestion. With the number of tourists on the rise, Bali's roads are frequently congested, particularly in popular areas like Kuta, Seminyak, and Ubud. The island's infrastructure is not built to handle the volume of vehicles, leading to daily traffic jams and long delays. Strain on local communities. The tourism boom has inflated property prices and living costs, making it difficult for locals to afford housing in certain areas. Many traditional farming communities have been displaced or have had to shift away from their livelihoods to work in the tourism sector. Efforts to address over-tourism. The Balinese government has recognized the damage caused by over-tourism and has begun to implement measures to mitigate its effects. Apart from the moratorium on new developments, there are initiatives to promote more sustainable tourism practices, including stricter waste management protocols and encouraging visitors to explore lesser-known areas of the island to distribute the impact more evenly. Despite the challenges, Bali remains a popular destination, and with proper management, there is hope that the island can strike a balance between tourism and preservation. Sustainable tourism initiatives, along with responsible travel behaviors from visitors, are key to protecting Bali's cultural heritage and natural beauty for future generations. Number 2. Santorini, Greece. Santorini, Greece is famous for its breathtaking sunsets, iconic whitewashed buildings with blue domes and stunning views of the Aegean Sea. However, this idyllic island has been significantly impacted by over-tourism, which threatens both its natural environment and local way of life. How over-tourism has affected Santorini. Overcrowding. Santorini is a small island that receives millions of visitors annually, especially during the summer months. Its picturesque towns of Oia and Fira are often packed with tourists, leading to overcrowded streets, long lines at viewpoints, and an overwhelming sense of congestion. Cruise ships frequently bring thousands of visitors at once, causing overcrowding in popular spots and contributing to environmental stress. Strain on infrastructure. Santorini's infrastructure was not designed to accommodate the volume of tourists it now receives. The island's roads are narrow and often clogged with traffic, particularly with rental cars and buses. Public services, such as water and waste management systems, are also under strain, leading to water shortages and inefficient waste disposal. Environmental impact. The heavy influx of visitors, combined with the increase in hotel and villa construction, has put immense pressure on Santorini's environment. The island has limited natural resources, and water shortages are a frequent issue, especially during the summer. Increased waste, pollution, and energy consumption further strain the island's fragile ecosystem. Erosion of local culture. Santorini's charm lies in its traditional architecture and lifestyle, but mass tourism has altered the local way of life. Many locals have shifted away from traditional occupations, such as fishing and farming, to work in the tourism industry. While tourism has boosted the local economy, it has also contributed to the commercialization of Santorini, with shops and restaurants catering more to tourists than to residents. Housing and real estate. The demand for accommodation has caused property prices to soar, making it difficult for locals to afford housing. Many traditional homes have been converted into luxury hotels, vacation rentals, or tourist accommodations, displacing locals from prime areas like Oia and Fira. This has led to a decline in year-round residents, with some areas of the island feeling more like tourist zones than vibrant local communities. Damage to historical and natural sites. Santorini's archaeological sites, such as the ancient city of Akrotiri, and its natural landscapes are at risk due to the large numbers of visitors. Erosion, littering, and the construction of tourist facilities near sensitive areas have raised concerns about the long-term preservation of these sites. Efforts to manage over-tourism. The Greek government and local authorities have begun taking steps to manage the negative impacts of over-tourism in Santorini. Some measures include limiting cruise ship arrivals. Efforts have been made to limit the number of cruise ships docking on the island each day to reduce the strain on resources and infrastructure. Promoting off-season travel. Authorities are encouraging tourists to visit during the shoulder seasons, spring and fall, to ease the pressure during peak summer months. Sustainability initiatives. There are ongoing efforts to improve waste management, reduce water usage, and promote sustainable tourism practices to minimize the environmental footprint of visitors. Looking forward. Santorini's beauty continues to attract visitors from all over the world, but without effective management, the island risks losing its unique charm and suffering irreversible damage. Sustainable tourism practices, responsible travel behavior, and better infrastructure planning are essential to preserving Santorini's cultural and natural heritage for future generations. Number 3. Kyoto, Japan. Kyoto, Japan, renowned for its traditional temples, serene gardens, and centuries-old cultural heritage, has become a victim of over-tourism in recent years. Once a tranquil destination for those seeking to experience Japan's ancient traditions, Kyoto now faces challenges brought on by the influx of millions of tourists annually, especially during popular seasons like cherry blossom season in spring and the autumn foliage in fall. How over-tourism has affected Kyoto. Overcrowding. Kyoto's narrow streets and historic districts, particularly in areas like Gion, known for its traditional geisha culture, and the famous Fushimi Inari Shrine, have become packed with tourists. The overwhelming crowds disrupt the peaceful atmosphere that the city is known for, and many temples and attractions are now filled with lines of people, making it difficult for visitors to fully appreciate the sights. Popular spots such as the Arashiyama Bamboo Grove and Kinkaku-ji, the Golden Pavilion, are frequently crowded, limiting opportunities for quiet reflection. Strain on local life. The influx of tourists has affected daily life for Kyoto's residents. The city, once known for its peaceful streets and slow-paced lifestyle, has seen its neighborhoods inundated with visitors. Locals have complained about noise, litter, and inappropriate tourist behavior in places of cultural and spiritual significance. In particular, in Gion, tourists often crowd the streets to catch a glimpse of geishas, or maikos, sometimes even chasing or harassing them for photos, which has led to increased tensions between visitors and residents. Cultural disrespect. Many of Kyoto's shrines and temples are sacred sites, and there are specific customs and etiquette expected when visiting. However, some tourists, unaware of these customs, have behaved disrespectfully by wearing inappropriate clothing, ignoring rules about photography, or treating the sites like amusement parks. This has led to growing frustration among locals who see their cultural heritage being commodified and disrespected. Economic and real estate pressures. The surge in tourism has caused a spike in property prices, with many traditional homes being converted into guest houses, hotels, and short-term rentals. While tourism has brought economic benefits, it has also displaced some residents and changed the character of certain neighborhoods, making it difficult for locals to live in the city's historic areas. Environmental impact. The increase in tourism has contributed to waste management problems, with litter and pollution becoming more common, especially in heavily trafficked areas. The city's infrastructure has struggled to keep up with the growing number of visitors, and there is concern that Kyoto's famous gardens, temples, and natural sites are suffering from overuse and damage caused by overcrowding. Efforts to manage overtourism. To address these issues, both local authorities and cultural organizations in Kyoto have begun implementing strategies aimed at preserving the city's heritage while managing the influx of visitors. Some of these efforts include encouraging off-peak visits. The city has been promoting visits to less popular temples and gardens and encouraging tourists to come during the off-peak seasons to ease the pressure on the most popular sites. Educational campaigns. Signs and campaigns. Educating tourists on proper behavior when visiting temples, shrines, and traditional neighborhoods have been introduced to ensure visitors understand local customs and respect cultural practices. Limiting visitor numbers. Some temples and tourist attractions have started limiting the number of visitors or introducing timed entry to control overcrowding and protect the integrity of the sites. Kyoto remains one of Japan's most culturally rich and visually stunning destinations, but its future as a sustainable tourist destination depends on finding a balance between preserving its heritage and accommodating visitors. With continued efforts to manage tourism and encourage respectful travel practices, Kyoto can hopefully maintain its cultural identity while welcoming those who wish to experience its timeless beauty. At number 4, Boracay, Philippines. Boracay, Philippines is a world-renowned tropical paradise famous for its powdery white sand beaches, vibrant nightlife, and crystal-clear waters. However, this idyllic island has faced significant challenges due to over-tourism, which has had detrimental effects on its environment and local community. How over-tourism has affected Boracay. Environmental degradation. The massive influx of tourists has led to severe environmental issues on Boracay. Pollution from sewage, plastic waste, and debris has become a pressing concern, particularly on the famous White Beach. Coral reefs, vital for marine biodiversity, have suffered from damage caused by boat traffic, snorkeling, and irresponsible tourism practices. Water and waste management issues. Boracay's infrastructure struggled to cope with the rapid growth in tourist numbers, leading to inadequate waste management and sewage systems. This resulted in serious pollution problems, particularly in water quality, which affected both the environment and the health of local residents and visitors. In 2018, the island was temporarily closed for rehabilitation to address these issues. Overcrowding. Once a serene escape, Boracay has become one of the most crowded tourist destinations in the Philippines. During peak seasons, the island can accommodate more than 60,000 visitors daily, leading to congestion on beaches and in local markets. This overcrowding has diminished the overall experience for both tourists and residents, creating a noisy and chaotic environment. Cultural erosion. The rapid commercialization of Boracay has altered the traditional way of life for many locals. Many residents have shifted away from traditional livelihoods, such as fishing and farming, to work in the tourism industry, often in lower-paying jobs. This shift has resulted in the loss of cultural practices and local traditions as the island caters increasingly to tourists. Impact on local communities. Rising property values and the demand for tourist accommodations have pushed some local residents out of their homes. The island's real estate market has become dominated by developers catering to the tourism sector, leaving fewer affordable housing options for locals. This economic pressure has resulted in a decline in the local population, as many residents relocate to seek better opportunities elsewhere. In response to the challenges posed by over-tourism, the Philippine government and local authorities have implemented several measures to rehabilitate and manage Boracay more sustainably. Temporary closure for rehabilitation. In April 2018, Boracay was closed for 6 months to allow for environmental rehabilitation. During this time, authorities worked on improving waste management systems, restoring beaches, and enforcing regulations to protect the island's ecosystems. To control overcrowding, authorities have imposed limits on the number of visitors allowed on the island at any given time. This includes regulating the number of boats and flights to Boracay, ensuring that the influx of tourists is manageable. Efforts to promote sustainable tourism practices have been introduced, including encouraging eco-friendly accommodations, responsible waste disposal, and environmental education campaigns aimed at both tourists and residents. The government has introduced stricter regulations on construction and development to prevent overdevelopment and preserve the natural beauty of the island. These regulations aim to maintain a balance between tourism and environmental conservation. Boracay's stunning landscapes and vibrant culture continue to attract visitors from around the world. However, the island's future hinges on sustainable tourism practices and responsible visitor behavior. With ongoing efforts to protect its natural environment and cultural heritage, there is hope that Boracay can recover from the impacts of over-tourism and continue to be a paradise for future generations. Number 5. Cinque Terre, Italy. Cinque Terre, Italy is a stunning region along the Ligurian coast, known for its colorful cliffside villages, crystal-clear waters, and scenic hiking trails. The 5 villages, Monterosso, Almare, Vernazza, Corniglia, Manarola, and Rio Maggiore, offer a unique blend of natural beauty and historical charm, making it a favorite destination for travelers. However, over-tourism has significantly impacted this picturesque area, leading to challenges that threaten both the environment and the local way of life. Overcrowding. Cinque Terre receives over 2.5 million visitors annually, despite the region being relatively small and lacking the infrastructure to support such high numbers. Narrow streets and limited transportation options can become overwhelmed, particularly during peak seasons, leading to congestion in the villages and on hiking trails. A strain on infrastructure. The villages of Cinque Terre were not designed to accommodate large numbers of tourists. and the local infrastructure has struggled to cope with the surge. Public transport, including trains and buses, often becomes overcrowded, and basic services such as water and waste management are strained by the influx of visitors. Environmental degradation. The increased foot traffic on the region's famous hiking trails, particularly the popular Sentiero Azzurro or Blue Trail, has led to soil erosion and damage to the natural landscape. Additionally, the coastal environment has been affected by littering, pollution, and other byproducts of mass tourism. Cultural and economic shifts. As tourism has become the dominant industry, many local residents have shifted from traditional livelihoods, such as fishing and agriculture, to tourism-related work. This has led to a loss of local culture and traditions. In addition, many homes have been converted into short-term vacation rentals, driving up property prices and making it difficult for locals to afford housing. Safety concerns. Overcrowding on narrow trails and in the villages can create safety risks, particularly during emergencies. In 2011, the region experienced devastating floods and landslides, highlighting the vulnerability of the area to environmental disasters exacerbated by heavy tourist traffic. Efforts to address over-tourism. Local authorities and organizations have implemented various measures to protect Cinque Terre and promote more sustainable tourism practices. Visitor limits. To manage the number of tourists and reduce overcrowding, there have been discussions about introducing daily caps on the number of visitors allowed into Cinque Terre. In addition, some trails now require entry fees or reservations to control foot traffic and fund trail maintenance. Promotion of off-season tourism. To reduce the pressure during peak months, tourism authorities are promoting visits during the off-season, encouraging travelers to experience the beauty of Cinque Terre outside the summer months. This helps spread out visitor numbers more evenly throughout the year. Sustainable practices. Efforts have been made to encourage eco-friendly tourism, including promoting responsible hiking and waste disposal. Environmental awareness campaigns aim to educate tourists about the fragile nature of the region and the importance of preserving its beauty. Investment in infrastructure. Investments are being made in improving local infrastructure, particularly in terms of public transportation and waste management, to better accommodate the number of tourists while minimizing the impact on the environment. Community involvement. Local residents are actively involved in decision-making processes regarding tourism management, ensuring that their concerns are heard and that tourism development benefits the community without sacrificing their quality of life. Looking forward, Cinque Terre's charm and natural beauty will continue to draw visitors, but the region faces ongoing challenges in managing over-tourism. The key to preserving this unique destination lies in finding a sustainable balance that protects its environment and culture while allowing tourism to continue. By promoting responsible tourism practices, improving infrastructure, and engaging the local community, Cinque Terre can maintain its appeal while safeguarding its future for both residents and visitors. At number 6, Dubrovnik, Croatia. Dubrovnik, Croatia, often referred to as the Pearl of the Adriatic, is famous for its stunning medieval architecture, rich history, and picturesque coastal views. It has become a top tourist destination, especially after being featured prominently in the television series Game of Thrones. However, the overwhelming popularity of Dubrovnik has led to serious challenges related to over-tourism, significantly impacting the city and its residents. How over-tourism has affected Dubrovnik. Dubrovnik attracts millions of tourists each year, with estimates of over 4 million visitors annually. The narrow streets of the Old Town, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, can become extremely congested, particularly during peak seasons. This overcrowding detracts from the experience for both tourists and locals, and can make navigating the city difficult. The city's infrastructure, designed for a much smaller population, struggles to accommodate the sheer volume of tourists. Public services, such as waste management and public transport, have been overwhelmed. The influx of visitors has led to increased traffic, noise pollution, and a rise in the cost of living for local residents. The pressure from mass tourism has raised environmental concerns, particularly regarding waste management and the degradation of natural resources. The coastline and surrounding areas have experienced littering and pollution, impacting marine life and local ecosystems. The commercialization of Dubrovnik has led to the erosion of local culture. Many traditional shops and restaurants have been replaced by establishments that cater primarily to tourists, often selling souvenirs and fast food. This shift can dilute the authenticity of the local experience and diminish the unique cultural identity of the city. While tourism has brought economic benefits, it has also contributed to disparities within the community. Property prices have soared, making it difficult for locals to afford housing, particularly in the Old Town. Many residents have been forced to move to the outskirts or other regions. Recognizing the impact of over-tourism, local authorities and organizations have implemented several strategies to manage the situation. Dubrovnik has introduced measures to control the number of cruise ships and tourists allowed to enter the Old Town at any given time. This includes restrictions on cruise ship arrivals during peak times and implementing a daily cap on the number of visitors allowed into certain areas. The city is working to promote sustainable tourism practices, encouraging visitors to explore less popular areas and visit during the shoulder seasons. Initiatives aimed at educating tourists about respecting local customs and the environment have also been introduced. Efforts are underway to improve public infrastructure, including waste management systems and public transport. Investments are being made to enhance the city's ability to manage the influx of visitors more effectively. Local residents are being involved in tourism planning and decision-making processes to ensure their voices are heard. This engagement aims to create a balance between tourism development and the needs of the local population. Dubrovnik's rich history and breathtaking scenery continue to attract visitors from around the globe. However, without effective management of over-tourism, the city risks losing its charm and cultural significance. By focusing on sustainable tourism practices and fostering a collaborative relationship between residents and visitors, Dubrovnik can preserve its identity and beauty for future generations while still welcoming those eager to experience its unique allure. At number 7, Barcelona, Spain. Barcelona, Spain is renowned for its unique blend of stunning architecture, vibrant culture, and beautiful beaches. As a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the city is famous for the works of Antoni Gaudí, such as the iconic Sagrada Familia and Park Güell. However, the rise in popularity as a travel destination has led to significant challenges due to over-tourism, impacting both the local community and the environment. How over-tourism has affected Barcelona. Barcelona welcomes approximately 30 million tourists annually, with many flocking to popular attractions like La Rambla, the Gothic Quarter, and Park Güell. During peak seasons, the city's streets can become overcrowded, making it challenging for both tourists and locals to navigate. This overcrowding can detract from the overall experience and diminish the city's charm. The influx of visitors has strained Barcelona's infrastructure, including public transport systems, roads, and waste management services. The city has struggled to cope with the increased demand, leading to overcrowded public transportation and difficulties in maintaining cleanliness in tourist-heavy areas. The booming tourism industry has driven up property prices and rental costs, making it difficult for many locals to afford housing in the city. Many traditional homes and apartments have been converted into short-term vacation rentals, displacing residents and altering the character of neighborhoods. As tourism has flourished, many areas of Barcelona have seen a shift towards commercialism, with local shops and traditional markets being replaced by tourist-oriented businesses. This commercialization can dilute the authenticity of the local culture and diminish the unique character of the city. The environmental footprint of mass tourism has led to increased waste, air pollution, and noise levels. The high demand for resources, including water and energy, has put additional pressure on the city's natural environment, raising concerns about sustainability. In response to these challenges, local authorities and organizations have implemented various strategies to promote sustainable tourism and mitigate the negative impacts of over-tourism. Barcelona has introduced measures to limit the number of tourists at certain attractions, particularly in sensitive areas. For example, timed entry tickets for popular sites like the Sagrada Familia have been implemented to manage visitor flow. The city encourages responsible tourism practices, urging visitors to explore less visited neighborhoods and attractions, thereby distributing tourist traffic more evenly across the city. Educational campaigns aim to raise awareness about respecting local customs and the environment. Barcelona is investing in infrastructure improvements, including upgrades to public transportation and waste management systems, to better accommodate both residents and tourists. This includes expanding cycling lanes and promoting eco-friendly transportation options. Local residents are being involved in tourism planning and decision-making processes to ensure their needs and voices are considered. This engagement aims to create a balance between tourism development and the preservation of local culture and community. Barcelona's rich history, stunning architecture, and vibrant culture will continue to attract visitors from around the world. However, the city faces an ongoing challenge in managing the impacts of over-tourism. By focusing on sustainable practices, community engagement, and responsible tourism, Barcelona can work towards preserving its unique identity and charm for future generations while still welcoming those who wish to experience its beauty. At number 8, Lisbon, Portugal. Lisbon, Portugal is a captivating city known for its rich history, stunning architecture, vibrant culture, and picturesque views from its many hills. With its iconic yellow trams, historic neighborhoods like Alfama and Bairro Alto, and landmarks such as the Belém Tower and Jerónimos Monastery, Lisbon has become a popular destination for travelers. However, the surge in tourism has led to significant challenges related to over-tourism, affecting both the city and its residents. Lisbon has seen a dramatic increase in tourist numbers, with around 30 million visitors annually. Popular areas, particularly in the historic districts, often become overcrowded, especially during peak travel seasons. This congestion can detract from the overall experience, making it difficult for both tourists and locals to enjoy the city's charm. The rapid growth in tourism has put significant pressure on the city's infrastructure, including public transport, sanitation, and healthcare services. Many local residents experience overcrowded public transportation systems, especially during rush hours, making daily commuting challenging. The influx of tourists has driven up property prices and rents, particularly in historic neighborhoods. Many locals have been priced out of their homes as properties are converted into short-term rentals, such as Airbnbs. This has led to a loss of community and cultural identity in many areas as long-term residents are displaced. As the tourism industry has flourished, many traditional shops and restaurants have been replaced by tourist-oriented businesses. This shift can dilute the authenticity of Lisbon's culture, leading to a more commercialized atmosphere that caters primarily to visitors rather than locals. The environmental impact of mass tourism is evident in increased waste, pollution, and strain on local resources. The city's infrastructure struggles to handle the high volume of waste generated by tourists, leading to cleanliness issues in popular areas. In response to the challenges posed by over-tourism, Lisbon has implemented several strategies aimed at promoting sustainable tourism and protecting the city's character. Authorities have started to introduce visitor limits at popular attractions, to manage the number of tourists and reduce overcrowding. This includes timed entry systems for certain landmarks and initiatives to promote off-peak visiting. To ease congestion in heavily trafficked areas, Lisbon promotes lesser-known neighborhoods and attractions, encouraging tourists to explore different parts of the city. This helps distribute tourist traffic more evenly across Lisbon. The city is focused on developing sustainable tourism practices that respect the local environment and culture. This includes encouraging eco-friendly transportation options, such as cycling and walking, and promoting the use of local businesses. Local residents are being engaged in tourism planning processes to ensure that their needs and concerns are considered. This approach aims to create a balance between tourism development and the preservation of local culture and community identity. While Lisbon remains a stunning destination with much to offer, the city must continue to address the impacts of over-tourism to ensure a sustainable future. By focusing on responsible tourism practices, community engagement, and infrastructure improvements, Lisbon can preserve its unique character and charm while still welcoming visitors eager to experience its beauty and culture. The ongoing challenge will be to find a balance that allows the city to thrive economically without compromising the quality of life for its residents or the integrity of its cultural heritage. At number 9, Machu Picchu, Peru. Machu Picchu, Peru, is one of the most iconic archaeological sites in the world, known for its breathtaking beauty and historical significance as a 15th-century Inca citadel. Nestled high in the Andes Mountains, it attracts millions of visitors each year who come to experience its ancient ruins and stunning landscapes. However, the surge in tourism has led to serious challenges related to over-tourism, impacting both the site and its surrounding environment. How over-tourism has affected Machu Picchu. Machu Picchu sees approximately 1.5 million visitors annually, with peak tourist seasons leading to significant overcrowding at the site. The large number of visitors can diminish the experience, making it difficult for tourists to fully appreciate the site's beauty and historical context. The environmental impact of mass tourism is evident around Machu Picchu. Increased foot traffic has led to soil erosion and degradation of trails, while waste management has become a critical issue as the influx of tourists generates substantial litter and pollution. The delicate ecosystem surrounding the site is also at risk from increased human activity. The commercialization of Machu Picchu has led to a shift in local culture and economy. Many traditional livelihoods have been replaced by tourism-focused businesses, often leading to the loss of cultural practices and authenticity. Local communities can feel marginalized as tourism profits often do not trickle down to them. The infrastructure in the nearby town of Aguas Calientes, which serves as the primary gateway to Machu Picchu, has been under pressure from the rapid influx of tourists. The demand for accommodation, transportation, and services has strained local resources, leading to overcrowding and increased prices for residents and visitors alike. With high numbers of visitors, safety becomes a concern. Overcrowding can lead to accidents on trails, and there have been instances of travelers getting lost or injured due to the heavy traffic on paths leading to and from the site. Recognizing the impact of over-tourism, the Peruvian government and local authorities have implemented several measures to protect Machu Picchu and promote sustainable tourism. To manage the flow of tourists, authorities have introduced a limit on the number of visitors allowed per day. This includes timed entry tickets, which help to spread visitor traffic throughout the day and reduce overcrowding at peak times. Regulations have been established to protect the Inca Trail and surrounding areas, including limiting the number of trekkers and requiring permits for access. This helps to minimize environmental damage and ensure a more controlled visitor experience. The government is promoting sustainable tourism initiatives, encouraging eco-friendly practices among visitors and businesses. This includes waste management programs, promoting local handicrafts, and encouraging visitors to respect the natural environment. Local communities are being involved in tourism planning and decision-making processes to ensure that their voices are heard. This engagement aims to balance tourism development with the needs and rights of local populations, fostering economic benefits that reach the community. Machu Picchu remains a symbol of Peru's rich cultural heritage and natural beauty, drawing travelers from around the globe. However, the ongoing challenge of over-tourism requires a careful approach to preservation and sustainability. By focusing on responsible tourism practices, infrastructure improvements, and community engagement, Peru can work towards ensuring that Machu Picchu remains a treasured site for future generations while providing meaningful experiences for visitors. Balancing tourism with environmental and cultural preservation is essential to protect this extraordinary landmark. At number 10, Amsterdam, Netherlands. Our final destination takes us to Amsterdam, Netherlands, a city renowned for its canals, its liberal attitudes, and its artistic heritage. Amsterdam, Netherlands is renowned for its picturesque canals, historic architecture, vibrant art scene, and rich cultural heritage. As one of Europe's most popular tourist destinations, it attracts millions of visitors each year who come to explore its museums, cafes, and unique neighborhoods. However, the city's popularity has led to significant challenges related to over-tourism, impacting both the local community and the environment. Amsterdam receives approximately 20 million visitors annually, with many flocking to iconic sites such as the Anne Frank House, the Van Gogh Museum, and the Rijksmuseum. This influx can result in overcrowded streets, long lines at attractions, and a diminished experience for both tourists and locals, particularly in the city center. The surge in tourism has placed considerable strain on the city's infrastructure, including public transportation, roads, and waste management systems. The public transport network often struggles to accommodate the increased demand, leading to overcrowded trams and buses. The popularity of short-term vacation rentals, particularly through platforms like Airbnb, has contributed to a housing crisis in Amsterdam. Many local residents have been priced out of their homes as property owners convert long-term rentals into tourist accommodations. This shift has led to rising rents and a loss of affordable housing for locals. As tourism has flourished, many traditional shops and local businesses have been replaced by establishments catering primarily to tourists. This commercialization can dilute the authenticity of Amsterdam's unique cultural identity, impacting local traditions and community life. The environmental footprint of mass tourism has raised concerns about waste management and pollution in Amsterdam. The city faces challenges in handling the increased waste generated by tourists, leading to cleanliness issues, particularly in busy tourist areas. In response to the challenges posed by over-tourism, Amsterdam has implemented several measures aimed at promoting sustainable tourism and mitigating negative impacts. The city has introduced regulations to limit the number of visitors at certain attractions and areas. For example, timed entry tickets are now required for popular museums to help manage visitor flow and reduce overcrowding. To alleviate pressure on the city center, Amsterdam is promoting lesser-known neighborhoods and attractions. Initiatives encourage visitors to explore areas beyond the traditional tourist hotspots, helping to distribute tourist traffic more evenly. Amsterdam is committed to promoting sustainable tourism practices, including eco-friendly transportation options like cycling and walking. The city has invested in cycling infrastructure to encourage more visitors to explore by bike rather than by car. Local residents are being involved in tourism planning processes to ensure their voices are heard. This approach aims to create a balance between tourism development and the preservation of local culture and community identity. While Amsterdam remains a stunning destination that offers a wealth of experiences, the city faces ongoing challenges in managing the impacts of over-tourism. By focusing on responsible tourism practices, community engagement, and infrastructure improvements, Amsterdam can work towards preserving its unique character and charm for future generations while still welcoming visitors eager to experience its beauty and culture. The goal is to find a sustainable balance that benefits both the local community and the tourism industry, ensuring that Amsterdam remains a vibrant and livable city for residents and visitors alike. As we conclude our journey, we are left with a profound sense of awe at the beauty and diversity of our planet. From the towering mountains to the vast oceans, every corner of the Earth holds its own unique charm and wonder, but also with a sobering awareness of the fragility of these precious places. These ecosystems, teeming with life, are delicate and easily disrupted by human activity. The destinations we have explored have been overwhelmed by the pressures of over-tourism. The influx of visitors, while beneficial to local economies, often leads to overcrowding and strain on natural resources. From environmental damage to strained local resources and communities, the impact has been profound. Littered beaches, polluted waters, and the displacement of local wildlife are just a few of the visible consequences. Efforts by local authorities to limit or regulate tourism are crucial to preserving these iconic places for future generations. Implementing sustainable practices and enforcing regulations can help mitigate the negative effects of tourism. But the responsibility lies with each of us as travelers to tread lightly, consume consciously, and engage respectfully with the cultures and environments we encounter. By making mindful choices, we can contribute to the preservation of these beautiful destinations. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more insightful content. Together, we can make a difference and ensure that the wonders of our world remain for future generations to enjoy.